Airbus working very hard on trying to put those planes out fast enough and with the quality controls in place, of course, off the back of the issues that we see our competitor Boeing. They delivered 142 planes in the first quarter. So that's 12% higher than last year. But as you were saying, they missed on this key profitability metric there. And they're working again, investing heavily, 1.8 billion euros cash outflow to build some inventories to in preparation for their production ramp-up that I have confirmed here again. So they still hope to put out 75 A320 planes by 2026. They produce about 55 a month at the moment. That really is the issue there for this industry, is that there is demand. That is not the problem. The problem is actually being able to produce those planes and working with a myriad of small and bigger suppliers there and bring them along in that production ramp-up. And they said the environment is still very difficult for them. There's still a lot of uncertainty, and actually the issues at Boeing are bringing more uncertainty into the whole ecosystem there. So I had a chance to catch up with the CFO of Airbus, Thomas Toepfer, and asked him how he felt the supply chain was going to be like in 24.
The environment has not improved in the recent month. So the supply chain remains complicated and is certainly a pacing element for our ramp up. And it's really broad-based. So it's not that it's only one piece of equipment that is missing, but we have our team very broadly talking to the supply chain, not only to the tier 1 suppliers, but also to tier 2, tier 3, so that we can detect issues as early as possible and address them. But it is definitely true that the supply chain remains the bottleneck for 2024 and has not gotten easier in the last 2 months.
And are the issues at your competitor here again actually bringing more uncertainty for some of the suppliers and potentially making things more difficult for you as well?
I would say this is in fact the case. So we usually get the question whether the issues that Boeing is having are helping us. And I consistently said it's not helpful for the industry, and therefore it's not helpful for Airbus. And what you mentioned is exactly one of the symptoms that we're seeing. It is putting additional pressure and repercussions in the supply chain and to some individual suppliers. And that is also what we are feeling, that it is not helpful for the ramp up of the entire industry and also of Airbus.
Can I ask you specifically about Spirit AeroSystems? We know Boeing had said that they're looking at potentially buying the company. You'd said in the past that you are in discussion with them because they are producing some parts for you as well. So can you just give us a little bit of an element of information on how those talks are going with Spirit AeroSystems, potentially buying the parts that make the elements for Airbus?
Well, we have been in very constructive discussions with Spirit already since a long time. In the beginning, of course, this was more in the frame of the existing contracts that we had, where we have joint improvement projects with them and see how can we improve the efficiency of the program. Now, given the new situation where Boeing has announced that they would contemplate to take over the entire company, of course, we're broadening the scope. And we're also potentially contemplating the takeover of the work packages that Spirit is producing for Airbus, because they're very important for us. And the highest priority for us is, of course, to make sure that the supply of those work packages is secured.
And that was Thomas Toepfer, the CFO of Airbus. So of course, there are some signals they are benefiting from the crisis at their main competitor, Boeing. They put a new target for the wide-body jets, the A350. They want to produce 12 of them per month by 28 out of 10 that they announced previously. They got this big order yesterday from Indigo, the Indian company, for up to 100 of those wide-body planes. But they said that, look, this crisis is affecting the whole ecosystem there at Boeing, and including some of the suppliers that Airbus is also working with. So it's tough for them to actually put out all those planes. They have 8,600 planes on backlog, so the demand is there. But for them, the challenge really is to put those planes out fast enough and with all the quality controls.